Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am bringing you my first part in a new knitting diary for the 8-bit, which is a mystery geek-along from Lattes and Llamas, and I am also bringing you a Vegas vlog. I am in Las Vegas right now. That's why you can see that my background is a little bit different. We're just here for a couple nights. But I wanted to share with you this new project that I'm working on. So the reason that we're in Vegas is actually because I was supposed to be in Hawaii right now. Um, we had booked a trip back home to Hawaii to visit family and friends in February, and that trip obviously got canceled due to the circumstances. And so it is actually my birthday this weekend, the weekend that I'm filming this. And my uncle, since he was going to come with us to Hawaii, he was still taking time off of work, as well as my mom was also taking time off of work, and I just kept my time off of work as well. All of us had use it or lose it vacation hours, so we were all using it. And my uncle enjoys coming to Las Vegas, and he was like, hey, let's just take a trip to Vegas just for a couple nights. I was a little bit apprehensive about doing so because I haven't really been anywhere since our state shut down, and so this is really like my first time venturing outside of my house. So it is a little weird for me. It's my first time going around with a mask and seeing how the mask kind of affects your movements and stuff like that. So far it's been okay. But yeah, it's been interesting. It's been, I think, 10 years since the last time I was in Vegas. So things have changed quite a bit. We are staying at the Excalibur, which you will see, or how you would have seen in my vlog, because I believe I would have posted it before this segment. But yeah, it's my first time staying at the Excalibur. We had obviously visited here before, but that was back when I was a child. So even here has changed quite a bit, but I'm enjoying it. I've done a little bit of gambling. My daughter has gambled for the first time. She still has not had her first drink yet, but we're working on that. But yeah, so far it's been fun. We will be leaving Las Vegas tomorrow, and so by the time you see this, I will already be back where I live. So anyway, I wanted to share with you my trip a little bit. I'm not the best at vlogging life experiences, but I hope you enjoyed what I was able to share with you. So anyway, let's get back to the 8-bit. I decided that I wanted to do a knitting diary on this particular sweater. It is a sweater because, one, it is a mystery knit along, I guess you could say. Even though it's being called a geek-along, it is a knitted sweater. So I had first seen this on Relatively Crafty, Christy's channel, Relatively Crafty. I'll link her down in the description box below in case you're interested in checking her out. She also has a knitting podcast, and she also talks about books, which is actually how she was recommended to me, because she used to do booktube videos, which, if you didn't know, I also have a booktube channel. But anyway, I've been watching her podcast for about a year and a half, I think, and on her last podcast, she had shared this 8-bit sweater and what she had done on it, and I was like, oh, that looks really neat. And I had known that there was this mystery knit-along going on in regards to 8-bit designs and 80s kind of arcade game like blanket squares. And it had been done for a few years, and they decided to go with a mystery sweater knit along this year, which is super interesting. It is a full body colorwork sweater. Now, this is not something that I have ever attempted to do before. I have done a few colorwork pieces, but not very many. My colorwork technique is not that great. But I'm going to jump in head first anyway, because you can only get better by practicing. And I think that with some tips that I've picked up in the recent months, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a go. So, knowing that this is going to be a full body colorwork sweater, I know that working colorwork in the round is much easier for me. I have tried to do colorwork mittens in the past as magic loop, and that did not work for me. It's something about when you get to the end of the row and you need to turn, that's when my tension gets all weird. And so I knew that I needed to be able to do the sleeves in the round, but in order to do that, I would need either a small circumference cable or some kind of DPN, something like that. I don't particularly enjoy working on DPNs. I can do it if I have to, but I wanted to see if maybe there was a different type of DPN available. And then I had remembered that I had seen on the Lion Brand website like L-shaped needles that were kind of like this, and they were fixed. And I thought, oh, I'm going to give that a try. So I had found these. These are Neko Strip Spiel. And I'll pull them out for you. I thought they were metal. It doesn't really, or at least I didn't see that it said what the material of the needle was, but they are not metal. And so they are plastic. So they look like this. And let me go this way. Here we go. They look like this. And you get 3 of them. So you work with 2, kind of like this, and then you use this one to work with. The fact that these were plastic caused a problem for me. I am actually using acrylic for this project. I know that a lot of people don't like working with acrylic, but I thought that since my colorwork technique is not that great, and the fact that if I am able to accomplish this sweater in a half decent manner, I'd like to keep it for a while. And I just find that acrylic sweaters, ones that I have bought from a store or whatever, have held the test of time for me. I have acrylic sweaters still in my closet from when I was a teenager, and they still look good. They hardly pill, which is not the case for my wool sweaters. So since this is kind of a more fun type of sweater, it's not something that I'd wear to the office, at least I don't think so. I thought acrylic would be fine, plus I wanted it for the longevity. And I happen to have quite a bit of acrylic at home. So let me just talk about my swatch first. So I knew which yarn I was going to use, but I still needed a contrasting color for the color work, and so I needed to order that because this sweater is done in a DK weight, and I tend to mostly buy worsted or fingered. So I needed to buy some solid color DK yarn, and luckily enough, the yarn that I wanted to use for this project was DK, so that wasn't a problem. So while I was waiting for my contrast color DK yarn to show up, after ordering it, I went ahead and swatched with something else I had at home, which I knew wouldn't give me an accurate gauge, but it was going to be close enough, I thought. So anyway, I am using a mandala yarn, and I'll actually show it to you right now. A Lion brand mandala. Ooh, this way. So I'm using a Lion brand mandala in the color Spirit. And you can kind of see here what the colorway would look like, and this is what it looks like in the cake. And so I decided to swatch with a different ball that I had partially used at home, just so that I could get a relative gauge. So this is my gauge swatch. And you can see, you might not be familiar, but these are the stars from Super Mario Brothers. And so she has you do this little like cozy design to do your swatch, and you can see that I'm having issues with my color work. It's more apparent on this side, I think. You can see where, apologies. You can see where my color work is like peeking through. The contrast color is peeking through. And so I had figured that that was because I was catching my floats in the same place all the time. So up here, in between the eyes, I decided to go ahead and do a ladder back jacquard technique, and it's much better through there. But I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm using a size 4. Yes, a size 4, 3.5 millimeter needle for the main color work area, and a size 2.5 or 2, size 2 for the ribbing. And for the ribbing, I decided to go ahead and use my Prim Ergonomics DPNs. I really enjoy these DPNs. I'm not sure what the material is on these, but they're matte. They're matte, and they're like triangular. So I really enjoy them. They're nice to use, they feel nice, and then they have this like pointed tip. And so yeah, I really enjoy them. They worked really well for this project. So let me show you where I am at as far as the mystery knit along goes. I'm still on clue 1. This is a free mystery knit along. So every week we get another clue. And so this was not a clue. The swatch was your swatch, and it had your like needle sizes and the gauge that you should get and all the things like that. So that was the swatch, and then I'm on clue 1. I believe she has issued up to clue 7 already. If you go ahead and add the pattern to your library, she updates it every time there's a new clue. So Yeah, I think she's on clue 7 right now. I'm still on clue 1. So I don't think this is going to be a shocker to anybody, but if you are planning on doing this and want it to remain completely secret, you should probably stop watching right now. But I presume that I've given you an ample warning right now. So I will go ahead and show you what I have so far. So this is what I have so far. Sorry for the lighting. Like I said, I'm in a hotel room, so I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. But as you can see, it is Tetris. Can you see that? I love Tetris. I've always loved Tetris. I don't know what it is, but I've played Tetris since I was a kid, and I really enjoy it, and my daughter also enjoys it, and so yeah. So the reason that the spiel needles didn't work on my swatch was because the acrylic against the plastic it didn't slide. It kept getting stuck, and you can see at the bottom here, these like 4 rows is what I did with the Spiel needles, and it is super tight. Like, my tension is really not good. You can see the contrast color, but in the middle here, like, you can't see the main color, which is the pink. And like I said, it kept getting stuck. It was super tight, and it was starting to hurt my hands. That being said, I do want to try these needles on a wool project, because I like to fiddle with things like this. I'm working on a pair of socks with my Hiya Flyers, and I enjoy that. I have the Addy Crazy Trios, I think, for socks again, and I do enjoy that. And I normally will work a sweater sleeve in stockinette stitch. I will normally work a sweater sleeve in Magic Loop, but because this is an all-over colorwork design, that just doesn't work for me, like I said. So that's why I decided to switch to my, what are these? Knit Picks short steel. That's what they are. Knit Pick short steel set. I have a set of these, and it came with a nice small circumference cable, and I'm enjoying this so far. It is the perfect length right now for the diameter that I'm working with. It gives me enough slack to use for when I am working the design in the round, and yeah, it's working out well so far, so I'm really happy with that. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, this is why you shouldn't work knitting projects in the dark. The tip of my cuff is actually gray. Well, that's okay. I wanted it to be the darker color. I don't mind. I'm actually probably not going to use the darker colors in this skein. So let me pull this out. See, this is really dark, and I don't think I'm going to be using that because I don't think you're going to be able to see it with my contrast color, which is this black. This black is what I ordered from Hobby Lobby, and it is the Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK. I really like the feel of this. This is the first time I'm using this yarn. I actually bought this yarn in another color for another sweater because they were having a sale, and I thought the price was on point. Even at regular price, this is only $4.99 for 478 yards. So I got 3 of these, and I believe I'm going to be using 3 of these. Though I have 5. I do have 5. My daughter has already said that if there is enough for her afterwards, she would like the same exact sweater. So I actually work my color work inside out. So most of the time what I'm looking at is this. So you can see my floats. I am trying not to catch it a lot. The color work design is not that spaced out where I have to catch things a lot. But if there's like 6 stitches before the next color, I'm not catching it. If it's more than 6 though, I will. And I think that has helped, but I had gone ahead and decided that I was going to do the 50-inch bust, which I believe is a size 8 on the pattern. That should give me 2 inches of positive ease. Now, when I did my gauge swatch, I got 24 stitches to 4 inches and 30 rows. And the gauge that's requested is 26 stitches per 4 inches and 30 rows. So I'm on par with the row height, which is odd for me. But I knew that my sweater was going to turn out a little bigger because my gauge was a little bigger, which was fine for me. I don't mind a little bit bigger. But this seems like super huge. This is the bottom of the sleeve, and it looks really big. This is the same width as this. So I tried this on my arm to see how it would be, and it is a little baggy down here, but it's not too bad. I mean, the ribbing over here kind of catches, but there's quite a bit of room, but it's not extremely big. Like, I don't know if you can see, it's not extremely big. So I think it'll be okay. Obviously it's not going to shrink because it is acrylic, but you know what? I'm happy. I think this looks nice. I'm very happy with this. I can tell that it's Tetris, and that's the main thing. If I can tell what it is, I'm happy. So I am about 10 rows away from the end of clue 1. And so I think what I'm going to try to do is check in with you at the end of each clue and show you my progress that way. So these knitting diaries, the series of knitting diaries will be a bit longer than my previous knitting diaries, but I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you will be jumping in on this make along, or if you're already working on an 8-bit. I'd love to see it. I'm really enjoying seeing everybody else's. Definitely check out Christy from Relatively Crafty and take a look at her 8-bit because hers is just gorgeous, and she's doing hers out of wool, and I'm very envious. So that's about all I have for this first part of my new knitting diary on the 8-bit from Lattes and Llamas. If you're interested, I will link it down in the description box below. I believe this is only on Ravelry though, so just know that going into it. And yeah, I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye!